concepts today. So we're going to figure out how to fork and clone a repository, and then we're going to also create our own repository. So we'll start off with the exercise. I click on the exercise, and it's forked from somewhere else, no big deal, whatever. The way you fork it is you just click on this button right here. So we'll click that, and then you'll click on your profile, at which point you'll run into this screen, and then in a moment it'll go back to looking how it was before, but the key thing is now we're on my account instead of the G School account. So in order to clone it down, so we've already forked it, now we need to clone it. What we need to do is click clone. So I'll go over here, and now I want to set up a good place for my work to reside. So I'm going to come in here. I have these already set up, but just semantically, I'll create a new folder, and this is going to be where all my coding exists. So I will go into coding and make sure it's there, it's working. So now we'll open Visual Studio Code, and we're blank slate, nothing here. I'm going to go to open, and I'm going to find that new directory I just made. So right here, same thing. If I go to Finder, it's the same thing. We have coding, that's in ViT Ohio, docs. So it's a folder on my laptop. So I'll tell VS Code now to open this, and it's completely empty. So what I'll do is I'll hit Control tilde, and now we are already in that directory. We don't need to worry about doing CD or LS or anything like that. All you have to do is type in git clone, and we have already copied this link. You just click on the button, or you can highlight everything and hit Control C or whatever if you want, but you get the link from that button and you paste it in, you hit enter. Now you can see on the left side we have properly forked and cloned this repo down. So I will clear out of that. Now if I type ls, you can see if I wanted to change directory into there, I could, and I can start working on that. But the next exercise, well, the checkpoint, requires you to create your own repository. Does not give you any sort of repository to fork from. So the way you would do this is you would come up here, you would click New Repository. Now, again, just for the recording, I recommend not initializing with any of this stuff down here. You can give this, just basic HTML practice, whatever name makes sense to you. Oh, it already exists. Okay, so don't do that. Basic HTML, right? So we're good. Doesn't already exist. Hello, right? We're all good. So don't touch any of this stuff down here. Create repository, and we get this prompt. So this prompt is extraordinarily useful. If we go back to code, and I type in ls, I'm in the coding directory, but there's another directory below that that we just forked and cloned down from previously. Get out of here. So what we're going to do now is that we're in the parent directory coding. We're going to copy, I keep bringing this up. We're going to copy this right here. And again, you can highlight it, or you can just click this button. We still have the terminal up, and I'm just going to copy and paste. You might need to hit enter. You might have not have seen it right here. Sometimes this command doesn't automatically enter, so if you just see this here, just hit enter, and then you'll see counting objects and all that. We have new branch, so on and so forth. And so now we should have created a new directory, but it's okay. So Git is actually in this. If we see right here, I slightly messed up. I should have created a new folder, but that's okay. We can do rm git. Git is a directory. Gosh darn it. And I'm recording. So you want a new folder, and you can name this new project. Again, it's the same thing right here. Now I have this. It's no different. So we can go cd new project, and now we can go ahead and copy and paste all that in. Now I'm going to get an error because I already did this on the parent directory, which I shouldn't have done. But now when we refresh, we'll see that README it creates with this prompt.
You don't have to take out the first one.
If I wanted, I could come in here and I could do, let's see, LSA. I could do git rm recursive forcibly git.
Oh, and that'll just
Yeah.
force it to go out.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, of course. There we go. So git, now if I type in git status, this should say it's not a repository. There we go. So I messed that up. In case you mess up, hey, maybe this was a good thing. So if you mess up, you want to start over, you feel super lost, you can take your repository name, scroll down. I just clicked on settings. You can scroll down, you can delete it. It looks very scary with all this stuff. You have to enter in your password, but it's okay. We can go ahead, we can create another repository just like we did. Whoops. Well, probably don't need that. Exclamation marks, we'll get into that later. You don't really want them in any of your file names because it typically means the opposite. It's kind of like true or false. The exclamation mark changes whether it's true or false or not. So it's like typically you want to stray away from those. Once again, fixing my mistake, create. And so now, just to show you guys, we have this new project with this README. Let's go ahead, clear out. We'll go into new project. So we'll also do a removal of that. Type in git status. Okay, we are all set. Let's, well, actually we can keep that. Well, no, let's just delete it. Okay, completely empty folder. If I'm in this new folder, I type in ls, there's absolutely nothing here. So if I wanted to create an example.html and example.css and example.js, now I have this folder populated with these files. If I go into Finder, they're all there. Still, you can copy and paste this, even if there's files already present. And let me make sure I'm in the right way, please. Okay. And just like I did before, you just click on the button or highlight, copy and paste. So the next thing you need to do if there's files already present is you'll notice if you refresh, there's not going to be anything there except for the README. What you need to do is git, and let me clear this out. I'm still in the same folder. You want to do git add. You can either do a or you can do dot. I do dot because it's one less character. Type in git commit with the M flag saying that you're sending a message. And then an opening quote, make sure whichever, if you do a single or a double quote, it matches with the end of your message. Because if you do something like this, you'll end up in this terrible scenario, which you can exit with Control-C.
So it doesn't matter, you just make them match, right?
You make them match, yep. So we have the M flag, I'll do double quote, this is my message, close it with a double quote. This right here is the commit. You will see that on GitHub after I push it. So right now this is actually saved on my local machine. Like that commit is snapshotted. I don't have to worry about pushing it. It is being tracked. Now if you do want to push it, all you have to do is type in git push. It might tell you to set the upstream. It depends sometimes, but it'll be a little prompt that shows up that you just have to copy and paste. It tells you to copy and it's very straightforward. But now that I've done that three-step process, we can come back, refresh, and we can see that same little ECA 9F38. And I cleared my term. Darn it. But you can probably go back in the video and you can see that this correlates with when we make a commit. Well, it's not going to have any changes anyway. So you can see my message that I sent. We have all of the new files I created, and now you're all set up. So those are the two ways that you're going to have to worry about essentially dealing with Git is forking and cloning, which is a little more straightforward, and then of course creating your own repository. But you have this video where I went through the process to refer to. So there we go.